Hello and welcome back to Ravendar Paintings. This time we're gonna paint another monster, which is the water hag, a nice and very colorful model. The reference card this time is only the card from the board game, and the picture you've seen previously is a kind of better quality picture of the same card that it is in the game. Now, before we get started, we apologies. I accidentally delete some of my initial content of my painting, so unfortunately I cannot show you the full process. I delete the initial part of painting the basic colors, but I find out that pretty much at the early stage, so I will guide you through. So initially I painted the whole figure with the Macragge blue, properly diluted, so in couple thin layers. The model was primed in black before that, and again, you know, in the recesses I put only one layer just to have that places a bit darker. The Screaming Skull is our next color, which was used for the bones that are tied around her arms, and there is skull underneath, and our eyes of the model were painted with this color as well. Then the Zandri Dust, I used that in a couple of places. The stripes that tie those bones on the arms I painted with this color, and as well the base that she is standing on was covered all over with this shade. Then as I said, the model was primed in black, so I just used the Eshin gray to do a bit of dry brush on her hair with the mixture of the Screaming Skull, and then the red thing on the back was painted with the Mephiston red, as well as the tongue. Then the two shades, one is the contrast, the Abadon yellow. I paint the wee kind of like a gas bubble on the base, and as well the white on the eyes. And after that color dried off, I use Casanrda yellow just for some nice shading. Now you can see the Citadel technical paint called the Armagedon dunes, and I put a little bit on the edge of that base. There is a wee rim, but I want to make it a little bit higher because I put some water effect towards the end. Agrax earthshade, the only wash I think I used in this model, which was place it on a couple of places, so the base, the bones, the back of the model, but I didn't put any wash on water hag's body at all, so it was just got pure blue shades that you seen earlier on. Now I use two colors, the Naggaroth Night and the Screamer Pink. I mixed that equally and add a little bit to our blue, and that's where we start our highlights. So I start putting this shade on the model. We cover majority of the figure with it except the recesses. Then we will be adding a bit of the Screaming Skull just to create some lighter tones, and again we will be covering, you know, those exposed areas afterwards with a little bit less and less with every consecutive layer as we go. So you can see now I add a little bit of our lighter tone, and then we're painting it over with the smaller and smaller amount of paint. Make sure that your paint is properly diluted. We don't want that paint to be too thick, so you're gonna have a nicer transition of those shades. I add also a little bit of the Eshin Grey. I mix it with the Screaming Skull just for our final shades of our highlights. This is probably the longest process, but if you do it in right and spend some time on it, you're gonna have a really cool effect towards the end. As you can see now, we get a little bit more of that kind of grayish ivory tone into our blue, so the final kind of light tone will be kind of like a grayish blue, which is gonna nice contrast with our blue base initially. Towards the end, we're using nearly a pure gray tone for our final stage. Next, I'm using the pink, pure pink initially, very watered, and we're painting over her back, and again we're gonna kind of like do a bit of a glazing. I also use this tone to darken a little bit the recesses or the shadow places, let's say, you know, beside the bones on the arms, underneath, etc. And then in a couple of layers we're gonna glaze that kind of very watered tone on her back to have a kind of nice pinky blue effect beside that red tone on the top. Now we add a little bit of the purple to our pink, and we put right beside that back ridge, I suppose. Our next highlighting, we're gonna use Mephiston red mixed with the Wild Rider red, and then a couple of stages by adding a little bit more and more of that Wild Rider red, which is kind of like a bright and red tone, and just to bring that highlighting a little bit further towards the end, I decided to put a little bit of the TrollSlayer Orange, and towards the end at our final stage I did a wee bit of the edge highlighting with the pure TrollSlayer Orange. White Scar, I use a mixture of that White Scar and Ivory to highlight those couple of bones around her arms, and then towards the end I use the pure white. I use that white as well to put a little bit on the eye pupils, which get darker a little bit after our washes, and then the skull underneath, which is obviously a little bit darker after our Agrax Earthshade Wars. So I initially use the mix of the Zandri Dust Screaming Skull, and then towards the end add a little bit of the white scar as well. Now the gloves on her arms, I decided to paint them pure black, and as well I did the recess on her head as well. Now we switch over to the Hexwraith flames mixed with the Bad Moon Yellow, and I put those wee bubbles with this color just so they look a bit more kind of like a toxic gas coming out of them. And we bit of a dry brushing with the Zandri Dust on that rim around it, plus the German grey obviously to finish it off the rim. A couple of bunches of grass here and there, just to put a bit of a nature on it. And then as you can see I have the UV resin with the bee, which we're gonna settle it hard with the UV lighter, which is very handy as long as you're not gonna put too thick layer of it. It doesn't really work. But in this case, when you have a very thin kind of water effect, I think it looks really cool. Towards the end I get back to the Mephiston red and TrollSlayer Orange to put those wee dots on the back, a little bit highlighted. And this is it. This is the miniature ready and painted. So hope you did like my shorter video. Sorry again for not showing it in full, but you know, those things happen. Sometimes you get a bit out of the control. But anyway, hope you do like that model painting, and if so, please give the thumb up just to feed the YouTube algorithm, and don't forget to subscribe the channel as well. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time soon. Take care, bye now.